Hello everyone, I have one more must-see chess game to show you in today. So in this chess game, this time we have the legendary Bobby Fischer, maybe the greatest chess player of all times, and his opponent was the Chilean chess master, international master of chess, Rene Martner with the white pieces. This chess game was played in the Leipzig Chess Olympiad from 1960. So this time Fischer had the black pieces, and I want to check out this chess game from Black's perspective, and in my humble opinion, I also include this chess game to my personal list of 100 must-see chess games of all times, which was played by the legendary Bobby Fischer. So d4 by Martner, knight to f6, c4, and we have a king's Indian defense, and Bobby Fischer played this many times in his chess career, and Fischer castled. The most popular move in this position is d6. Fischer castled e5, the only safe spot for the knight, and then f4, d6, bishop to e3, c5, d takes on c5, the d pawn is pinned, of course. If takes, then black is going to lose the queen. Knight to c6, c takes on d6, and Bobby Fischer sacrificed a pawn for the quick activity and rapid development. Bishop to f5, defending the knight. So developing the bishop with tempo, bishop to e6, defending, knight to f3, queen to c7, queen to b1, and preparing f5. But white seems cramped with the king in the middle. So black is doing very well actually, despite being a pawn down. E takes on d5. Well, in this position, instead of queen to b1, if e takes on d6, then knight takes on d6, by the way, and this helps black developing very quickly with a very active position. White is behind in the development despite being a pawn up. So queen to b1, again preparing to push the pawn. D takes on e5 and f5, and Fischer counterattacks e4. F takes, e takes, G takes on f3, and delayed gratification. Bobby Fischer pushes the pawn and threatening f4. He is going to take this e pawn later. So threatening to push the pawn and forking two pieces, f4, and developing the knight and completing the development. Bishop to e2, so you can see that white is behind in the development. Rook over, targeting the e pawn. King to f2, and white wants to protect the bishop after rook takes on e6, so Martner was intimidated rightfully. Rook takes and building up on the e file, so bishop to f3, defending the bishop. But Bobby Fischer played. He made his calculations and he saw the winning line even in this position. He played rook takes on e3. Bobby Fischer strikes on e3 with the rook, an exchange sacrifice with a brilliant idea behind. So what else? Rook takes on e3, rook takes, he sacrificed the exchange. Can you see the idea? Fischer played, he picked his queen, and he played queen to f4, and after this move, Martner resigned. What an unbelievable final position. He resigned because if king takes queen, then bishop to h6 is not just check, but this is check and mate. A fantastic looking checkmate. Simply amazing. Absolutely amazing. So in this position, Bobby Fischer saw queen takes at the end of everything, and then bishop to h6, checkmate. So this is why he sacrificed the exchange, but for a grandmaster, this is no big deal. Of course, they can calculate that much, but still it was a very beautiful final move by Bobby Fischer, and Martner resigned. This looks like a knockout punch in a boxing contest. So what happens if moving the king back? Of course, not king to e2 because of knight to d4, forking king and the bishop. So this is checkmate. So, of course, king to f2 is a must, defending the bishop, but then knight to g4, bishop is pinned. King to g2, still defending the bishop. White must defend, but white is losing by force, just like this, check. King to f2, and the bishop is pinned. So how to defend? If capturing this bishop with check, white is busted. He is not going to survive. So if defending with the queen, then check. Defending the bishop doesn't work like this because of check, check, forking the king and the queen. But we don't have to take the queen, check, and then checkmating the king. Mating the king by force. So if defending with the queen, check, and if king goes back, capturing, knight takes on f3, and black has a mating attack. White is hopeless in this position. White is in a totally lost position. So okay, this was the final move by Bobby Fischer, and Martner resigned. So this is one of the Fischer games that I have never forgotten. I also never forgot Bobby Fischer's chess game against Donald Byrne, that famous game of the century, and also his chess game against the Mongolian chess champion Liam Suren, Myanmar Suren. So maybe we will check out those chess games as well. So again, this is in my opinion one of the 100 must-see chess games of all times. So I hope to see you again with more interactive chess games. Take care and bye bye.